Rise up to the brightness of today, the day given to us by our Creator to live life at its very best. So we congratulate ourselves for making it through to today. Hello there, and a very warm welcome to the program Good Morning Abuja. And it is coming to you from the Unity Station NTA Channel 5. And I'm your anchor for today, Deborah Abba Usman. And on today's edition of the program, it promises to be engaging. We're going to inform you, educate you, and of course, entertain you. We will be looking at the role of data in policy making as it concerns national development as well as occupational safety. Safety is very important in our daily lives, and other interesting segments will come your way as you stay with us on the program. And you know how we do it every morning? Let's start with our motivational talk to put us in the right frame of mind.
Today I want to share with professionals, people that have their work or people that are graduate trainees, you just started working. The sentence I want to share with you is work to learn, not to earn. When you work to learn, later on you will have sufficient knowledge that you'll be paid more than you work. And also for those that are just starting their work, in entering into your careers, for leadership opportunities to be open to you, you need to work more than you are paid so that later on you'll be paid more than you work. When you work to learn, you acquire knowledge in different facets. You acquire knowledge from experienced people. And what people pay for is the knowledge you have, the value you are able to bring to the table. And the value you are bringing to the table has a link with the knowledge of what you know how to do, which basically is your skill. So when you work to learn, you expand your horizon and you will definitely earn later on more than you work, because others that work to earn will just keep on working to earn, and the opportunity for them to learn more things will be destroyed. And once that is out of the circle, the system might even outgrow them. So when you work to learn, you end up earning more than you work later on. Sometimes when we make an attempt, there are two ways. It's either we learn how things are not done, or we learn how things are actually done. You, as a young person you are, between the age of 20 to 30 to 35, work to learn, not to earn.
That was our motivational talk there, and we know we have been well motivated enough to start our day's activities. And next is our Keep Fit segment. Let's go do some exercises. Good to know you have rejoined us again on the program Good Morning Abuja, and it is coming to you from the Unity Station NTA Channel 5 Abuja. And onto our discussion segment, we have a very important topic this morning before us, talking about data. Data is like a life wire to any organization, even in a family, for effective running of a nation, an organization. Now we want to talk about the role of data in policy making for national development. And we have a policy analyst, expert with us this morning, who also is a founder and executive director, Recap Africa. Help us welcome Sylvester Nandi Essom to the program. Sir, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
Okay. I love this topic before us this morning, talking about the role of data in policy making. You know, when we talk about data, I do not want to preempt you or giving you the definition. I know it has to do with facts, figures, statistics to bring figures together for a better planning. As we look at the role of data in policy making for national development, I want you to give us a background of what data is all about.
Okay, thank you so much,
You're
madam,
welcome.
for inviting me to your program.
Okay.
First of all, I will need you to understand the importance of data.
Okay.
Data is like a foundation in which every other policy, project, programs are rest on. So when you are about to roll out a policy without adequate data, automatically you are building on a faulty foundation.
Foundation.
And that is why You see, we Africans, we Nigeria, we are having this kind of challenges in implementation of our policies because they were not, rely on data. The use of data is very important. The importance of data cannot be overemphasized. So, for you to take a decision, you need to at least know the area which you are dealing with. At minimum, do a baseline study to give you an insight of what you want to do so that to enable you navigate. There's something called intervening variables when you are formulating a policy. Intervening variables are things you did not see or you did not plan for.
And are very important.
It is through this data you can foresee them and prepare for them.
Okay.
So that whenever they arise, you already have a solution awaiting to tackle them.
Oh.
So most of our challenge in Nigeria particularly is that our policy are based on assumptions.
Okay.
It is not data-driven policy. Data-driven policy usually they don't fail because you know what you're dealing with. The essence of we will do budget year in, year out, and yet we'll still go out to collect loans, to implement the budget and all of that. It's because we do not have the adequate data to inform the actual budget we are supposed to prepare.
Okay.
So with that, it will keep running around in circles. It's a common problem, not just here. It's a common problem. But nations that have passed through this thing have been able to identify this as a gap and then take it more importantly than the actual policy.
Okay. Well, okay, that is a very good foundation to which our topic is on this morning. And now that you talk about how to get an appropriate data for effective planning, I know there are levels and types of data. I want you to take us through that.
Yeah, usually data is part of a research methodology.
Okay.
Is the actual purpose of the research. So there are different methods of collecting data. We have the primary method, we have the secondary method. The secondary method, people usually rely on, what people have done around that area before, around that specific subject matter. And then the secondary data are talking about getting to know the actual facts on ground, what the perception or what the problems are by either conducting a survey, issuing questionnaires to actually know. Like, for example, the National Population Commission.
Yes.
Since 2004, we have not conducted a national census. So, every figure
we are gathering momentum to do
every
that.
figure we call every year is based on assumption.
Okay.
Now, the worst aspect of it is that we cannot actually ascertain our population as a country. Why? Because the institutions that are supposed to help to assume properly are not even effectively using this method we're talking about, the data collection. For example, the primary healthcare. Because it is through childbirth, death rates that you cannot know whether we are increasing or we are reducing. But how many hospitals have this data? In fact, how many hospitals have what is the role of gathering all this data from these different hospitals or healthcare centers? So it will be difficult for anybody to say this is the population of Nigeria. It's based on assumption where you hear things like whereabout, which is not reliable.
Okay. Okay, now as an expert and you're trying to prefer solutions to knowing the accurate data for effective planning, and as we narrow it down to national development, what do you think are the most valuable data that we should put in place as we talk about development?
Yeah, every sector needs to have their own data. So it's in sections. So it's not one data for all. Yeah, you want data for all in terms of the population, for example, can help in shaping our budget, in shaping the kind of project we embark on. Because If we say we are 200 million Nigerians, that will automatically inform the level of security personnel we should have.
Sure.
Now, by data presumption, we will say that police are about 350,000 personnel, approximately. We are not even sure. So now, with that, if they say one policeman per 5 persons, what is the equation? What is the formula? So we see that we're already having a gap in terms of security. Because usually in some countries, they will tell you, okay, a policeman is responsible for 10 civilians. So by that, you can now know how many number of police personnel or security personnel you should have as a nation. It will combat automatically the issue of security. So now we don't know our figure as a nation, how many we are. Some say 190, some say 200, some say 240 million. How then do you intend to address the issue of security if you do not know the actual data or the actual population of a nation?
Okay, now that we are here and going forward, because we are preparing solution, like I said, and we are looking at how important it is for us to know our data as it helps the policy maker. Now, how do you think we should ensure policy to remain flexible as new data becomes available every day? You are going to respond to that question, but let's quickly go on this quick break. Thank you. All right, let's quickly go on this quick break. When we come back, we'll still be here to talk to you more about the role of data in national development. Stay with us, please.
Good evening. Glad to have you join us.
Thanks for joining us on Weekly News Wrap.
Thank you very much for having me.
And it is on that note we welcome you to today's edition of the program.
I will celebrate creativity, lasting impressions.
There's no book stating that this is the role for men.
On the news.
On the news at 7.
Jama'a barkanmu da wannan
The Little Station, NTA Channel 5, Abuja.
Would say have a lovely day.
Welcome to Young Hearts, where vibrant minds converge to ignite the flame of innovation.
A program designed to inspire, educate.
Join us on a journey of exploration and empowerment on Young Hearts.
At Young Hearts, we believe in the power of youth to shape the future.
You can say we are too young and we know too much.
There are so many young people who are very skilled and talented.
Join us as we embark on this transformative journey of discovery and growth.
Join us
Every Monday, 5:30 p.m.
At 5:30 p.m.
on NTA Channel 5, Abuja.
Hello friends, welcome to Kiddies World. My name is Omarade with Erse. Here with me is
the green title. I am Consi Justina, and today we have many fun things in store for you.
I had so much fun and I hope you had fun.
Exactly, it was exciting, especially when I saw the lion, ostriches, and buffaloes.
Welcome back from the break, and if you've just tuned in, we are here discussing about the role of data in policy making for national development. Before we went on that break, we're trying to talk about how we can ensure policy remain flexible as new data becomes available every day.
Yes, it is important that at every interval we do data collection. At every interval. Usually, it is ideal that every 4 years we are supposed to do a census, or approximately 5 years, to renew, to know the number, because at the time of census, it is possible that people were underage and other people have given birth and all of that.
Yes.
So it's very regular because it will now inform the next level of decision.
Sure.
Yes, if your target policy is on a particular age bracket, it will give you the adequate number we're talking about. Now we are assuming youth are 35% of the total population, women are 46%. Is based on assumption. It is based on assumption. It's not fact. They are not adequate data. So regular census will give us adequate data and give us adequate planning. It will inform policy decisions. It will inform the right policy to be formulated. Is it education policy? Is it health policy? So it is based on the current happenings that will inform decision. Because, for example, some acts have been established in 1980, some acts in 1999, and they have not been ratified. So if you want to ratify such act, you need to do a study.
Sure.
Yes, to be able to have the current facts to be able to ratify such acts.
Okay. And now, as an expert, you have suggested that every four years we should be revisiting our data and bring up to speed accurate data for proper planning. What do you think is the biggest obstacles for us not being able to implement all of this?
Yeah, I think our biggest challenge is the lack of political will. Because I will not stay here and say that our leaders are not intelligent. They are very brilliant people. They are extremely very intelligent. But the will of doing it is the major challenge in Nigeria. They know this problem. In fact, though some of them take advantage of the gap, in such issues, and then begin to make use of for their own personal reasons. So, however, we need to come back with that political will, that zeal, the hunger for development. Okay. If you have that spirit, definitely you will know the importance of this.
Okay. Now that you say we should have that as zeal, political will, to ensure we have this accurate data, and as an expert, I'll ask again, linking it to our government. How do you think can government balance speed of decision making?
Yes, you see, like I told you earlier, the essence of data is to inform decisions.
Sure.
Ordinarily, there should be no policy. Ordinarily, there should be no decision of any sort without adequate data. Because that is what it will cause what we call policy summons up. When you take a decision irrationally, you have hiccup. That is why you also see that a lot of policy are not fully implemented. They are having what we call policy hiccup. So usually when you have a situation like that, you need to take it back to the theater and conduct a surgery to
and dissect it again.
Exactly. And then bring what was the problem, what was the gap.
Sure.
Introduce it back.
Okay.
And then put it back. It will work. Okay. So the importance of data automatically drives speed in policy making, because you don't need to dwell too much. The fact, the data will tell you. It is not something that you go to the House of Representatives and start arguing irrationally. The fact, when you are calling figures, when you are calling facts, it will show you that this is the indicators.
And it's accurate.
And it's accurate. So it fast track the process. All these exercise of committee hearing, all these all kinds of hearing they do, to make policies, it breach those kind of obstacles and gaps.
Okay, before I let you go, as an expert, we thank God you're here giving us preferring your own solution to how we can solve the problem of data collection so that we could have an accurate statistics for any development. Before I let you go, your final word and your word of advice to what we can do to have this data accurately at hand and store it for future use.
Yeah, well, my final words will be very simple. That we need to be deliberate about, data-driven decisions. We need to be deliberate about data-driven policies. It is only when we are deliberate, that will, that zeal. For us that we don't know the importance, is not true. We know the importance of this. It's like you want to build castle on the air. Any policy is dependent on data. any policy, any decision, including in family, household.
In family, household, yes.
So if you have 10 children, you will know how to plan your year. You know how many children are in secondary school, how many are in the university. So we need to make it more a conscious activity, a conscious act to be able to harness our data to inform the right policies and to automatically take us to the development space we're looking at.
Thank you so much for making us see the reason and demystifying the fact that data collection is very important at family level, at every organization, and that will bring a good planning that will better the lives of the citizen. We appreciate your time so much with us on the program this morning.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Sylvester Nandi Esom, a policy expert and also a founder and executive director, RECAP Africa. RECAP stands for Research Center for Advocacy and Policy Advisory in Africa. Thank you so much for your time with us this morning.
Thank you. Thank you, madam.
Okay, the program is Good Morning Abuja. Let's quickly go on this quick break. When we come back, we'll still be here to give you more. Stay with us, please.
Good evening. Glad to have you join us.
Thanks for joining us on Weekly News Wrap.
Thank you very much for having me.
And it is on that note we welcome you to today's edition of the program.
I will celebrate creativity, lasting impact.
Welcome back from the break, and it's good to know you are still there. And now we want to talk about safety. We all know that safety is an integral part of our daily lives. Talking about safety at home, in our environment, official places, and even in the organization as a whole. This morning, we will be talking about occupational safety, and we have a safety expert here with us this morning to do justice to the topic we have before us. Help us welcome Uwalaka God's Best to the program. Sir, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, madam.
I really appreciate it. Like I say, safety is all we need to stay safety and to make our life secure. Now that we talk about occupational safety, we want you to give us a layman background, what we need to know about what safety is all about. When we talk about safety, what are we even referring to?
Okay. Well, like you say, occupational health and safety. Now, whatsoever you are doing in your office, maybe at home or anywhere you find yourself, and you are very conscious of doing it to save life, you are now practicing safety, because health and safety is talking about saving of life. Do you understand? And this thing, it can also be observed in your workplace, in your home, and even on the road, anywhere you are. So you talk about saving life. How do you secure yourself, secure your life, secure the life of other people you are living with, you are working with? Because your actions can also trigger a risk to another person.
Sure.
So you need to have health and safety awareness on how to conduct yourself in the workplace, even at home, down to our children at home. They need to be having this health and safety awareness. You can imagine where your fan is running now, your children put up fan and left. And the fan had been working all through the day and the night. Now the coil can hit. And most of the time you see house have ignite fire. But these are one of those things. Now the coil will hit and burst. That singular act of that have put jeopardize the life of the whole family. Not only the family, even the neighbors around. Because when there is any potential risky at home and workplace, it will affect everybody. It will affect properties. It will affect lives. It may cost life as well too.
So safety is everybody's business.
Safety, in another way, is everybody's responsibility.
Wow.
To put other people as safe mode in workplace.
As we talk about occupational safety this morning, let's take us through on what is occupational health hazard.
Okay, occupational health hazard. In a layman language, as we are all now in this place, you left your home to come to work. Your primary aim to work safely and return back safely and meet your family or your loved ones. Safely. Isn't it? That's the primary aim. If you come in this place and work and we earn millions along the line, something happens, you didn't get home safely.
It's of no use.
It's of no use. So when you talk about occupational health and safety, it talks about the workers in workplace, how they conduct themselves, how they carry out their daily task safely, in a safely manner. Now, occupational health and safety, the way you work, the way you relate with your co-workers in workplace, all these things is summed up as occupational health and safety. So it also embodies on the employers to provide a healthy, safe environment for the workers. That's all about it.
Okay, talking about having a healthy and safety environment to work, and like you say that it's everybody's business.
Responsibility,
responsibility when we talk about safety. There are so many hazards that one is exposed to.
Yes.
Especially in the
workplace.
I want you to take us through that. The hazards that we need to know and see and pay more attention to.
Now, when you talk about hazard, there are many hazards. You talk about physical hazard.
Yes.
You talk about psychological hazard. We talk about biological hazard.
Wow.
We talk about mechanical hazard.
Okay.
Physical hazard, when you talk about those things, you can see that can cause damage to your health, to the organs of your body.
Okay.
In your workplace, they are physical. Now, for instance, if you are working in a noise place or using a noisy machine to work in your workplace, you need an earplug, ear noise protector to stop causing damage to your eardrums. Now, if you are working in a wedding place, like a weather, because of your eye, you need eye goggles to protect your eyes. If you fail to do that, you find out that a pieces of iron or a chips can fly into your eye, and that will cause a permanent damage to your eye. So you should know that there should be some measures you should put in place before carrying out a task. Now, the resultant effect of that, if you fail to carry out those responsibility or preventive measures, is it will cause your body damage permanently. One, it may not be that. It may cause fire disaster. Ladies, in a situation now, some wire littered. We ask people to make sure you trunk your wires and all that. Now in a workplace, and you are working in a place, maybe you cluster wires, naked wire exposure, and there's a spark that may cause fire outbreak. One, the company will lose properties and equipment worth billions or millions of naira.
And even the lives of human beings.
Now, it will also jeopardize the life of human beings. So, workers need to be inducted or trained or create that awareness where they understand the potential risk involved in the task they are doing in an organization. And the responsibility of the organization to provide some certain basic equipment like PPE.
Okay.
Personal protection equipments, and how to use them in workplace. Not only equipment, because you see, one of the problems we have in organization most of the time, the thought is only buying the equipment. They can buy the equipment and still, and also there should be, and also suffer potential loss because the employees were not taught or how to, or they have not been advocated on how to practice or inculcate the health and safety culture in the life of the employees so that it became their daily lifestyle without coercing them to do it. So it is the owners of the company to ensure that most of these employees are well inducted and trained and create that awareness that it becomes their lifestyle.
You know, these safety practices ought
Yeah.
to start from even the homes.
Yes.
As you leave your house, you're not using the light.
You turn off the light.
Appliances.
All the electrical appliances, you turn it off.
And when you have that from your home, you bring it to your work environment, you do the same.
But it's when you know. If you don't know, you can't practice it. So there is a need to create a very massive, laudable awareness, health and safety awareness from the grassroots.
Okay. So the question is now, how can we, or how should we create this laudable awareness for everyone to know? Because physical hazards, like you explained to us, if anything happens and you have a permanent damage, it can
disability, personal disability.
So how do you think we should put this awareness together? I know what we are doing is part of it.
Yeah.
What other ways?
Okay. Now, the other ways we can also, like we create, which we are meant to carry out to the school. Because what we are trying to do by doing that is that now our youth, our teens from there, if we inculcate that cultural health and safety from them, they know that if we are not using this, like turn it off. If the fan is worth some certain hour, it should be turned off. So when they come up with such kind of mentality and the lifestyle of health and safety from the young age, it became part of their system.
Wow.
So that is why we are trying to create that OSHA health and safety awareness club in schools.
Okay. Awareness is very important.
Yes.
Awareness is very important. And the one I love so much is taking it to education, to
environment, and to incorporate in their curriculum. Now, we are OSHA Association is also advising where we meet with the Minister for Federal Minister of Education, where the government is say we take it more seriously, inculcate it in the curriculum of schools. It became part of their curriculum where they study issues pertaining to health and safety. One, it will save the country a lot. One, economic loss. Most of the things you see are an act of negligence. Most of the things that happen on the roads, both the road driver, drunkards. Now, okay, for instance, now you see what happened last time at Nyanya with the trunk affair and the fire outbreak. Takes
so many lives
away. Properties and cars were burned. There was a lot of people suffered economic loss on that incident.
Wow.
Now, but if you deeply, you find that that act is an act of negligence.
Yes.
Either by the driver or by the owner of the vehicle, truck. Maybe the due diligence was not carried out based on health and safety procedure and rules.
Thank you very much. And quickly, as we round up this discussion, I want you to give us as a way forward on how we can be conscious of our safety, both at home, in our environment, anywhere we find ourselves. Because if you have this practice from home, anywhere we go to, even in our workplace, churches, yes, we can extend a hand of safety, because safety is very important for
very paramount.
So your final words as we go now.
Yeah, what I will advise everybody, as I earlier said, health and safety is everybody's responsibility.
Okay.
Why is it that if anything happens by eventually, the next person there, that person have already gone, we'll be talking, the person will lose his life first.
Sure.
So when you have to be very, very conscious of how you carry out your daily activities at home, in workplace, in a very safe manner, and to save others from potential hazards
and
damages.
Thank you.
And this thing can only be done when you put yourself into use by doing some extra activities, learning, training, and retraining yourself.
Okay.
That's why OSHA Association have what called train the trainers.
Train the trainers.
And this thing continues. It's not something that is you say you have known it all. We are all learning based on national and international self-practice guidelines they give. They keep updating. Now, as I tell you earlier now, AI now, most organizations are now starting to employ the use of AI, on health and safety in the Western world. We are in a situation you enter a car, the car will not move until you bet it. Now there are some industries or workplace and concerning industry. Before you enter in abroad, if you are not kitted on your PPE, you can't have access to enter into the site.
Wow.
You can't see anybody there. It's the machine, automated machine that will scan you and all this and that. So if you are not there, you go back until you go and kit yourself and come to the access door. And when the AI scanned you and found out that you are health and safety, it can give access. That is where we are going now.
And we'll get there.
Yes.
We'll get there. Thank you so much for your time with us this morning and giving us this insight on how to be conscious about our safety, because like you say, safety is everybody's responsibility.
Yes.
And we have to take this practice of safety
everywhere
we go to. We appreciate your time with us this morning. Mr. and Captain Uwalaka, God's best, a safety expert. Thank you so much for your time. All right. Okay, the program is Good Morning Abuja. Let's quickly go on this quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us, please. Welcome back from the break, and it's good to know you are still there with us on the program Good Morning Abuja, and it is showing only on the Unity Station, NTA Channel 5. And now to our children. There's no way this program will be completed without the input and the impact of our children. Let's go, bringing our children on What Can You Do?
My name is Olamkwesi Justina Oguntayo.
And my name is Itamani.
Welcome to What Can You Do?
Hello friends, my name is Benisha Nasamu. I'm here to highlight to you more on calabash decoration. Calabash decoration are patterns, designs, shapes, colors or paintings implemented on a dry gourd or calabash. Things we use in making calabash decoration: you will need your calabash or dry gourd. You will also need your pencil. You will also need your razor and your color or painting. So firstly, we use your razor to scrape the dry gourd to get out your desired shape or color. Then next, you use your pencil to create the patterns or design or any shape you need on the dried gourd or on the calabash. After doing that, you use your color to paint the calabash, which you've done your paintings on it. After doing the paintings, you can get your desired calabash decoration. Friends, I hope you try this at home. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our children there on What Can You Do? They are our hopes, they are lives, and like we always preach on this program, as parents and caregivers, please let's ensure we guide these children to the right path every day of their lives. And now, to our entertainment segment. Now let's take you down memory lane. Let's go enjoy some musicals together.